Okay, so I've added this one just for the lulz, really. There was an interview on TV, I think it was Bloomberg, where Todd
Yeah.
Howard and Phil
Hmm.
Spencer were being quizzed on Bethesda, being quizzed on Starfield, rather. John, do you want to pick up the story here?
Yeah, I thought it was funny. Basically, there was a folks from Bloomberg asking questions to Phil and Todd, and the interview itself is rather silly because some of the questions they ask. So the main one obviously relates to optimization, but even at the beginning, they kind of start off with just like this kind of ponderous question, like if this game is available on Game Pass, how do you ensure that people play it? It's like, how do you answer that? Like, it's like, well, but
Tricky.
right? It's that's pretty funny. But then I guess the main one is like the Bloomberg guy was just like, why did you not optimize Starfield for PC?
I asked our audience, what would you ask Todd? Big question from many. Why did you not optimize this game for PC?
Which why is that a ridiculous question? Well, first of all, what he's getting at is he's asking why is this game performing not well on a lot of PCs? Why are people having performance issues? And I think that's valid because the game, certainly on NVIDIA and Intel cards, does not run nearly as well as you'd expect. But I got a chuckle out of it because the question is phrased in a way that's basically saying why was there no optimization step in the game? And having seen games in their unoptimized form before optimization has occurred, let me tell you, it's a very different thing. It's very obvious that an optimization step occurred here, right? Just the existence of shader compilation,
Yeah.
pre-compilation at all shows that there was actually optimization done. How successful it was, though, that's the matter up for debate. And I guess the issue here is like when you ask a question like that, that's not well thought out. It makes it difficult to get a proper answer to what they really wanted to know. And it's just
Yeah.
the matter of fact kind of blank, the expression he has when he asks it. It's clear that he's just saying something written down without understanding the context. And I don't know. I thought it was silly. It's funny to see when people like this on a TV interview that are perhaps not invested in this stuff are at trying to ask questions to these guys, right? Like, I don't blame them for not knowing all the nitty gritty stuff of this in a way, because it's just, whatever. It's not clearly not something that's very important to them. And they're just trying to get along and follow what audience questions are being thrown at them without necessarily the proper context. Uh,
Right.
and, and also doing live shows, stuff like this is, well, or at least recording stuff off the cuff. It's not always easy. We put our foot in our mouths often as well, or at least I do. I'm very good at that, but that's all. Just a funny little thing.
Yeah, I mean, Todd's response was basically, well, it's a challenging game. You need to upgrade your PC,
Which
which I thought was quite amusing. What I did enjoy was it seemed that Phil Spencer received the question first on the
yeah,
video link and was just chuckling about it.
he just
And
he laughed at it. Yeah,
yeah, and it is a nothing question, right? It's like how long, Todd Howard, how long is a piece of string? Or the classic Alan Partridge one, which is Todd Howard. Who is the best Lord? Lord of the Rings, Lord of the Dance, or Lord of the Flies? It's just like total nonsense question, and
exactly.
but there is an interesting sort of point with this, which is that actually there is an issue, which is, as you
Yeah,
pointed out, John, the performance on Intel and Nvidia cards is suboptimal. I think Alex said yesterday that his 6800 XT is like 40 in his benchmark scenario is like 40% plus faster than an RTX 3080, which makes no sense whatsoever. So there's obviously an issue there. And we actually got this supporter question from Brett Berman. With a poor state of RTX drivers for Starfield on release, rumours that Nvidia has pulled resources out of its gamer driver division to focus on AI. Are you concerned about this becoming more common on day one, or does Intel's bigger mess suggest this was a one-off? I haven't heard any rumours of Nvidia pulling out resources from the driver division
no,
to focus on AI. It's two completely different
yeah,
disciplines.
Yeah.
That's bizarre. Look, AMD sponsored Starfield, right? Which means that Intel and Nvidia had limited visibility to the game. Now, there's perfectly reasonable justifications for that, because if you're sponsoring a game and you're integrating your own technologies in it, maybe you wouldn't want the opposition to see those integrations, right? But what it does mean is that the Intel and Nvidia had very limited time to actually produce day one drivers. These day one drivers, I think we said it in the Starfield Directs, they don't appear out of nowhere. You know, it's not just twiddling some knobs. It actually requires some time. It requires access to the game. And if there is no access to the game, or very limited access to the game, then obviously you're going to get suboptimal drivers. Now, we've seen Intel, I think they've just released their second Starfield update driver to address the performance challenges of Intel. So yeah, I don't think this has got anything to do with a focus on AI whatsoever. And the fact that Intel is in the same boat kind of highlights that there was an integration issue with, there was an issue with driver readiness.
Did you see that Bethesda customer support response tweeted at us yesterday?
Yeah, they basically seem to be suggesting that an A770 was less performant, unsupported, and you know.
It does not meet the minimum requirements of an AMD Radeon RX 5700 or NVIDIA GeForce 1070 Ti. Since you do not meet the minimum requirements for running this game, the troubleshooting steps we can provide are limited.
Yeah.
Some troubleshooting steps could potentially cause damage to your system.
Awesome. What physical damage?
What kind of steps would those be?
What are they implying here?
That was just absolutely remarkable. Oliver, any thoughts on this? Any thoughts on the interview?
Not too much. I mean, it's just sort of amusing and a little bit insulting in the moment, but I think given the questioner and given the context, it's just a funny thing that happened.
Yeah.
Fair enough. This question from supporter Kevin Dixon. Hi, D to the F. Big question from many. Why did you not optimize this call for questions for PC? Every week I send out a post on Patreon asking for a call to questions, and hand on heart, it was a lazy post. It was unoptimized. I do apologize to the audience for that.